Alright everybody, I'm just gearing up here, giving it a second to go across the platforms here. If the audio just cuts in, that's because I'm waiting for it to catch up on Restream here. So once it's caught up, I'm going to just get right down to it here in LMMS because listening to the audio from last night's stream, I realized that the computer's audio was turned down too low. Maybe not far too low, but too low. So I turned it up just a bit. And this should sound better today. If it doesn't sound better, feel free to let me know in the chat. I've got the chat open for Twitch. I've got it open. I'm gonna open it up here for YouTube here, and for Periscope as well. So just give me a second to do that, and you might hear the audio on turning it off as it comes on. See if YouTube's working. There it is. Alright, and again the audio will probably come on. Right, I'm going to turn it off right away. Alright, so now that we're all set up and we're streaming, I'm just going to get right down to it. I've got my launch pad here. It's a MIDI controller. You could use your keyboard if you're playing with the software at home, but today I'm not going to be explaining quite as much. I'm just going to try to get right down to it. So I'm going to open up my project from last night. That was, well, started this a while ago now. So it's getting bigger. It's taking a little bit longer to load. So I might want to start rendering it. It's probably these VSTs that are really making it take a long time to load. So it's a good idea to bounce those VST tracks into a audio track if you're using software like this, because it could tend to get slow. If you're using Ableton or something, you might get away with using more VSTs at once, but even in that situation, it's a good idea to render down your tracks and to have a very quick working version of the sample if you don't need to make adjustments with the MIDI controller on the different presets on that particular instrument. But here I am chatting it up, and I'm gonna just get right down to it here. So. Alright, so I like that loop here. Okay, so I think I remember last night, yes, I was very tired, and I was like, I don't want to deal with this, because it wasn't doing what I wanted it to do, and it's a pretty simple fix. All it's doing is it's just going a little bit over what I wanted it to do, and then it's playing a whole nother bar. So I'm just gonna find where it's doing that, and it's a little bit confusing here, but there should be like again, the shift and the... Not sure why they made that so confusing there. But you have to unlock that before you can use it. I think this is gonna work. Okay, it didn't. Something else going on here. Is it that? It is. Alright, so what I'm doing there is I'm making it longer than it needs to be. Oop. That's not what I want to do. The middle mouse button isn't what you want. If you hit the middle mouse button, it will screw it up. What you want is to play with it until you get it, because me trying to explain it is just not going to make it easier, because it's acting funny. Alright. Let's see what this does. I'm gonna play it in this. Understand why it's just cutting off there. It's got something to do with that. Oh, maybe it's this one. because either one could be what we're doing. I think I pushed myself a little too hard last night. I want to play there though. This is Thanks for watching, joining in. If you want to join in on the chat, I'm free to talk about it. Now, this software I'm not super familiar with. It's something that I'm still learning here, so if it seems like I don't know what I'm doing, that's why I'm still learning. It's a little upsetting that I want it to put that second baseline there, and I can't seem to get it to do it. So I'm just gonna copy and paste it and try to do a workaround here. See if I can't crash the software. Okay, and I'm just going to open this one. Of course, all this crap is getting a little bit confusing here, so wow, yeah. And then I just moved that one up too far, of course. So I'm going to save the project here and just reload it. Oops, wrong. Let's see here. There we go. Alright, so now I'm gonna open the piano roll. Where is it? There it is. Alright, and I'm just gonna move this over there. And that should, like, I think, solve the problem. Oh, so I think I can do it without it. Let me mute it first and try it again. I think what I'm doing is actually, I want it here. And there. I think that's what I want. So I muted the second channel now. There it is. It makes a lot more sense now. It's actually pretty obvious looking at the pattern that it's making here. It's like, oh, for some reason I thought this was longer than it was. It's probably something to do with this chunk of silence here that's throwing me off in the drums. What's going on with that? So we got 2, 3, 4. I think that just might have been because I was tired. Alright. So it started like this, 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 this. Yes, this is what I want. Alright, so that takes care of that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to render that as it is. I think I might just turn this up a little bit though. What's going on with that? So I like that. Now I haven't actually done any rendering in the software yet, so we'll just see what it does here. I imagine it's export here, export tracks. Let's see what happens. Now I have a feeling that it's going to take it from the song editor here, which is okay because we have everything we need. So I actually did get quite a bit done last night, so I'm not going to be too hard on myself. That's pretty cool. Alright, so we got this. I'm just going to try to render it this way. Well, first I'm going to save it just in case it crashes or something funny. Alright, so render it to... just throw it to an audio folder that I have. We'll make a new folder, call it LMMS export. And this we'll just call RSB music 1. That will work. And it looks like a WAV file. That's exactly what I want. If you want a OGG, you can get OGG Vorbis. That works for games too. Unity accepts OGG Vorbis. It's actually very compressed, so it's actually a good idea if you're going straight into Unity to use OGG Vorbis. I don't think I'm going to go straight into Unity. I think I'm going to use these tracks and then manipulate them further. So I'm going to do it as a wave. Let's see what it lets us do here. 16-bit or 32-bit. We're gonna do a 320. We'll see how it handles 32-bit. I'm gonna try this sync best interpolation. I'm really not sure of any of this stuff, so I haven't used any. I don't think I'm gonna try for this oversampling. Export as loop. I don't think there would be any end silence, but just in case there is, we will export it as a loop. Alright, so I did see it just export there. It was very quick, even though it said it was going to be slow. This computer is not too bad. I'm just going to open up. Oh, it didn't put it there. We'll just go to here. Open up over there. Audio. Yeah, there we go. I don't like that. It opened up in the wrong software there. Sorry about that. I need to change the default program. Now, this is actually turned down to 80%, so I'm going to put it up to 100%. So it's a little loud. And realize I have the desktop audio turned down on my streaming software, so it's a little bit louder. I have it turned down so you can hear my voice over it, so they're not fighting. Alright, so that works. If I wanted, I could take each of these tracks here in the beat and turn them into their own beat or bass line, right? Which is probably a good idea to do if I'm going to do it this way, because then it'll render each track individually or render it as one, I believe. Let's go back to the export settings there. Oh, and let's try export tracks, and we'll see what happens when we do it this way. I'm gonna make a folder inside that's gonna be track renders or exports. Don't want to confuse anyone like myself in the future. All right, track exports. Gonna save it there. Gonna change the sync rate because it sounded all right. Change the to 32, change that to 320. It's too bad it didn't save all of that stuff, but what you gonna do? Alright, we're gonna export as a loop. Nice. Okay, it's going through every single track on each beat slash bass line, each groove. I don't know why they just didn't call it groove. Maybe someone owns the rights to that word groove. But let's see what we have now. Alright, we got our track exports folder, and it's filled with all of this good stuff. So let's clear out the old playlist and throw this in. Just start with the triple oscillator. Now there's gonna be silence in these, but that's okay, because if you were gonna put them together in different audio software or in the same software, you could then line up where the silence isn't. So there should at some point be no silence. Unless maybe this is an instrument that I didn't use. That could be it. Yeah. So a good idea would be to clear out the instruments you don't use, because I was in like experimental mode at one point, and I don't see those tracks that it's talking about, so it's confusing. But yeah. So there's all the different kick drums. that's pretty cool. There's all the different snares, but it's the same throughout the whole beat. So I could actually take these tracks, put them into my CDJs, and mix them. Oh, the snare did change. I'm just going through. Oh, we never used that one. Okay. This one I think we used at some point. Maybe not. There's a lot that weren't used apparently. So now if I needed to make adjustments to this by itself, I have it. It's a little ridiculous to have just that and then all this silence, but if you were going to give it to someone else to put it together, all that silence would let them know how to put it together, because then they would know exactly where the end of the track is, or where the beginning of the track is. In this one it's easy to find the beginning because it starts at the beginning, and that one as well. But let's see, I think this one, yeah, see there's silence at the beginning, but then there's audio there. So it's a little confusing if you have the track and you don't know it's in with the rest of the tracks, which is a good reason to put it in a tracks folder, and then you can compress it all too, so that way you don't have to worry about all these tails of silence building up and creating you know, an issue with you know, space. So really, I don't need all of these, but it's a good experiment to know that it works. What I really need is the Sybase ones, because I don't want to be running all of these VSTs while I'm making stuff, because it's going to slow me down. It's going to slow me in loading the tracks, and I have what I need from the VST. I don't need to play with it anymore, so I'm just going to delete them and put in these others. Right. Now it's a good idea to just mute them at first and to make the track, so that way if you need to, you can rely on what's already built before you sorry, it's distracting me. So that way we don't, you know, screw it up and can't find what we're working with. Alright, so it's not that easy to just drag and drop anything, which is unfortunate. Yeah. I almost lost my GUI element thing again. Wonder if there's a way to fix that. Okay. No, there isn't. You can turn it off, and you can turn it on, but if you push them above that and drop it, it's lost forever. No, you have to save and restart the software if you do that. And I'm going to do that just because it's a good idea to save, and it's bothering me. Oh, it should still load it, right? There it is. Yeah, it just nudged it down just enough for me. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to try to do that. So we're going to add no. What we want here is we'll go to the instruments panel here, and we're going to find a audio file processor, just like I used up here, and I use those to bring in the sounds from Bfxr, which is another free software that I'm using to make the game. It makes sound effects. I might play around with that later, but right now we're going to put in these audio files here. So let's see, got the files here. We want Sybase. All right, still not that easy. So we click on here. We hit the open button, or maybe I can drag and drop there. That would be nice. No. Nothing's easy with free software, and you end up paying for it with paid software. So it's a good idea to learn free software. It really is, and it gets easier to learn the more you do it. So I'm just going to load up the file here. folder. Start there. And we've got the track, which is great. So I think we can just throw it at the beginning, or yeah, I think that should just play it. And then we're going to make another one. So we can just duplicate this one, which is nice. And then for this one, we're going to just open the other there. And yeah, I think they went together on this one, and then this one, it was just the one. So now, listen to it. I didn't hear it. Alright. So it's not doing what I thought it would do right out of the box, unfortunately. So I'm going to put on that, take off that. We'll see what the heck is going on here. It's probably got something to do with the sample length here. I'm not hearing anything. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. But still not hearing anything. Okay, but I think I see the problem because the note's not being held down. So I'm going to go into the piano roll here. I'm going to find that note. Just going to get rid of it. Oh. I'd like to make that one bigger. What the heck is that all about? It was a metronome or something? So it's not doing what I want it to do. If you haven't realized. Yeah. How did I get this one to work so easily? Maybe if I move it to the front and play with the track a bit. So it's there. Let's see. Alright, so I'm gonna unmute it. We're gonna just put it in where we need it. Oh no, this one started at the beginning, right? And this one was at the end. I had the wrong track armed when I hit record, so keep hitting that. I hit that. So that shouldn't be an issue. Now, I'm not sure if that's exactly the same, so it's a good thing I didn't save those, or I didn't destroy those. Sounds so different. Oh, this... Okay, that's because this is... That one doesn't have that one. So... Oh, I see what's going on here. I got them backwards. And this one's continuous, because it has a different, what is going on here? Sorry, I kind of forgot what I was doing here. What I really need is just this end portion of it. I don't need that front portion for this. What I can do is I can duplicate this, and it's much quicker on the system than it is to have a VST like these. When I take those off, the system's going to run better. The CPU doesn't have a dent in it right now, really, but I mean, as you can see, it's not running the VSTs really either. Alright, so this one we're gonna arm it, and we're gonna put another one in there. That didn't work. sounds so weird. I think it's because it's not the right note. That's no. Always hit that button. Alright. It's different. And it's also different pitch. think I like that better, but I'm not sure. It sounds completely different. Yeah. Alright. Enough of both. Stick with that one. It's like a weird overlap. Like right there. There's like this flanger, phaser. Ah, I see what's going on. Doesn't need to be there. Alright, so we can get rid of these now. That was the whole point of that. I'm gonna check this one out again to make sure I made the right decision. I kinda like that it sounds different, because now it sounds like a different... It almost sounds like a percussive element. Kinda like a Les Claypool slap or something on the bass. And I could even give it its own effects track here, or throw it. I'll try throwing in another one to try to save space. Yeah, that works. Sounds like it gets off just a little bit at the end. It actually helped a lot there. Alright, yeah, I'm happy with that. Something's getting all muddled there. That's bad. Is it this? I see what I'm doing wrong here, I think. Yeah, I want this one. Right. Something. Where did it go? It's making music. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with all of that. So I'm going to make a little song out of it, I think, or something. Just something so I can listen to and jam for more than 30 seconds or whatever this is. So I'm gonna drag this one out. Alright. Just gonna save right over it because I don't need that. I'll make it 32, 320. Just gonna leave it at 440 or 44. Down. Sync best. Export as loop. We'll give it a listen here. Alright, so now I'm going to listen to it again because I thought I heard some type of audio artifact in there, which could be something from the renderer, it could be something from my software, or my computer, or my speakers, it could be anything. So I'm going to listen to it again and just see if it's there in the file. It's about around there or so. Alright, yeah, so I didn't hear it that time, so that's good. It could have just been something with my speakers, probably was. These are just speakers that come with the computer, and I've got my headphones plugged into them. I've got my mother gave me some retro Sennheisers that she had. The foam had rotted away, and she found that there's replacement foam. So she knew that I needed headphones, living in an apartment, so she hooked me up. Thanks, Mom. But yeah, with the adapter, just going in straight into the headphones, it could just be the adapter, really. Just going through an adapter is not really a good setup. But I'm not claiming to have a good setup. I'm just trying to make a game here. So I like it. The issue that it has is that the organ's really loud. This track here. So I'm going to take a look at that. What was that? Baseline 1. Is it just the combination of them? It's this last one. So I'm just going to turn it down a little bit here. Or you know what? This one might be used by other tracks, right? Oh, that's not what I wanted. I think I might have turned it up for this track because it's by itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it back down. What is it that? I don't like how it tails so much at the end. So I'm just gonna change that. It's still tailing. Alright. That's gonna get annoying. which is another thing. I think I should add to the melody. What's the other one like? And then this one. So this one kind of leads into the other one. Actually, it's already set up that way on the song editor. So we're just going to start it from here. But that organ still sounds really intense here and really weak here, even though they're in the same key. So I'm gonna try to work it from both angles and turn it down here just a bit. Oh, that's not the one I wanted to turn down. Leave that one where it's at. Turn it down there just a bit, and then I'm gonna go into this track here and give it one of these. I'm just gonna copy that and paste it there, and that should help that track. So we're going to listen to that transition again. I don't like that. There we go. Oh, that's not bad. I'm going to start at a measure before. Alright, so it's getting better. It's you know, getting there. Kind of distracted by the end clip and the beginning clip, because this is kind of starting to sound like its own song, while these are starting to sound completely different. And that's okay. I was kind of expecting something like that to happen. I'm trying to start in a broad way, so that way when I have ideas of what I want everything to sound like, I'll have examples that I can pull from. So if I decide that I want to make like a black hole level, then I can you know, make it a little bit more darker and a little bit more angry. If I want to make it like I don't know, if I decide to do like a level with like other elements, you know, like toxic waste or ice or something other than the sun. Say maybe you're not just gathering elements from the sun, maybe you're gathering them from other planets, and you have this is a future where elements are gathered from planets in orb shapes that you shoot from plane-like spaceships in a vertical manner. It doesn't have to make a lot of sense. It's just a game. I'm just trying to make stuff that works and genre blend and come up with new gameplay mechanics. Trying to be creative and interesting while I still learn the ropes of game development, because this is something that takes a lifetime to learn, probably multiple lifetimes. If you had the opportunity, you could still be learning after multiple lifetimes, because it's ever evolving. By the time that I was out of college, everything had completely changed, and it's just completely different than what it is. Not saying that the stuff I learned didn't help me, because it did. I learned how to adapt. That was the number one thing that people need to learn. And it's not so much that I learned that through college, because I didn't learn it right away through college. I learned it after college, because I learned that college was a bunch of lies for the most part about getting jobs and what the economy and what the industry is really like. Thing is that a private school or public school or university or any of it, no one really knows exactly what it's like on the other side. They can claim to, and they can say like, oh, I've been there for 10 years, you can't tell me I don't know. Well, guess what? It's changed. Everything's changing so quickly right now that the industry that you were in 10 years ago is not the same. And if you want to go around and say that what you did in the industry 10 years ago is so awesome for you today, like, that's great that it got you where you're going. But if you're still successful today, you have a different way of thinking than you did 10 years ago, and that's just the way that it is. I mean, some of the very underlying, deep down thoughts, they don't have to evolve that quickly or anything like that. You can still be the same person you were 10 years ago. I know I am in many ways, but I treat technology different, and I treat education different, and I treat money differently. I treat producing and being productive differently. All of that stuff, I'm a far more organized person than I was 10 years ago, because I see that it's necessary. And that's just one example. I wasn't organized because I was an artist and creative person, so it didn't seem like a great idea to be organized when all of the fun I was having was making a mess. And making a mess is part of it. You have to make a mess, but if you can't organize that mess, then no one's going to buy it. That's just the way it is. And I'm not trying to make money. I mean, don't get me wrong. It'd be nice to make some money. It would be cool to be able to do this for a living, as in make games for a living. Talk about games, stream games, make games, do all that stuff, just the stuff that I love to do for a living, rather than work for some corporation or anything like that. But we'll see where life takes me. That's really the reality of it. It would be hard to turn down a paycheck right now. But right now I'm doing what I love, and that's what's important. Okay, so I'm gonna continue doing what I love here, and just gonna give myself not quite sure what I'm gonna do here. I think, can I move these? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna move these. That's the first thing, because it's looking weird. Because, like I said, these are like their own song here. So I'm just gonna put them at the beginning. Actually, I don't like that at the beginning. I don't want it to start like that. I'm gonna make something that's like an intro for it. I'm gonna move this back here. See if I can select more than one. Okay, yeah, so you gotta use box tool and drag. Cool. Alright. So I'm gonna make a new baseline, and obviously it doesn't matter what order they are in, you just needs to be organized. It's too bad you can't just name them. Like, we don't know what to call it, so it has to be called some weird thing. Like, come on. Okay. And I'm not trying to gripe about the software. It's free, so I'm just saying. Alright. I'm gonna go back to this guy, I think it was. Oh look, it rearranged it for us. That's not gonna confuse anyone. Maybe just me. Okay. So it's too bad you can't just. Oh, you can. Okay. Let's take baseline 1, copy it. What did I just do? Copy value 0. I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea what that does. Okay. This is what I'm doing. I'm making this look like that. Alright. I'm gonna start with this guy, I think. I record. I lost where I was. Oh, did I not? Is this not the right piano roll? Huh, I was in the wrong piano roll. So that's gonna be where it's closer to the intro. It's like, you know, getting there. For this window. So we've got Bfxr. Surround. I was just doing it. This one. Weird. We want these two. Do that. So there's 4 measures of silence that we're going to work with later, giving us room here. It felt too short. But that felt good. And back to sounding bad. Okay, so we're gonna move this more, give ourselves more space. And we're just gonna expand on this, I think, now. So we're gonna find baseline 2. Alright, and we're gonna duplicate this one basically. So since it won't just let us duplicate it, unfortunately, we'll have to do it the long way here. Oh. Weird. The only place that lets you get that window up is if you right click on this thing. But if you're not at the very last baseline, then it's going to increment it, even though it does that. So how do I know what I'm copying? Oh, it says copy value, and then it's got 3 there. That's crazy. Okay, so if I go to 3, is that the one that I want? No. I'm on baseline 2. That's not confusing at all. Oh my gosh, and you can't rename it? Again, I'm not trying to gripe. It's free software. Okay, so let's see. Add beat baseline. We already did that. What we want to do is we want to try to copy this. So we're going to go like that. Copy value 1. No, we want it 2. Yeah, not going to do that. Alright, so we're just going to go to this one, this one, this one. Maybe we didn't make a new one. Alright, we're going to this one. Make it a new one. Damn it. It's like this. No, that's not right. This one was like that. Is that right? Close. Alright, so I'm gonna go into this one. I'm gonna try something else here. I'm gonna bring in another one of these and see if we can't do something with the samples that we made earlier. That's not what I wanted to do. It just cleared that one. That was not cool. There's no way to undo. Well, let me just undo. Okay, well done. Looks like I'm setting that sample back up. Just be aware, if you accidentally drag a instrument on top of your old instrument, it's gone for good. Unless you saved right before you did that. Okay. This was the second bass line. This was the first sample. Don't know the difference. Oh, this one had that. That should fix it, I think. Maybe. Check. Of course, I've moved it even further now, so I have to save. Alright. Sorry about that. I'm getting confused on this, so I'm gonna fix it in the song window here. Just gonna rely on the order and not the name. Oh, you can rename it. Okay, sweet. That's what I've been waiting for this whole time. I've been accidentally clicking and closing it too. Okay, I'm gonna stop this. And this is gonna be groove one intro. Can't quite spell. Groove one intro. And naming conventions can be like completely different here for music. Alright, so this one's gonna be groove one part one, and this one's gonna be groove one part two. This one's gonna be groove one part three. So essentially what I'm doing here is I'm taking the music and I'm taking like a loop essentially, and I'm pulling it and dragging it so it's like a little bit bigger, but then so I'm like doubling the size, and then I'm also changing the melody and the rhythms and stuff. Well, maybe not the rhythm in this case, but changing the sounds throughout the loop essentially, so it doesn't get boring when you just play it. So someone doesn't sit there and say like, oh well, you're just using loops, because it sounds like it. If you're making loops, then people would be like, oh well, you're just using someone's loops. Well, I made them. Sorry. You know, like everything can be looped if you record it and cut off the tail and turn it into a loop. It's a loop, you know, but some people really don't like the sound of hearing the loop, so this is some way to try to avoid that potential person saying, oh, I can hear the loop. But what you gonna do? Alright, so we've got that, and I want to put that bass line in there. and then I'm gonna play it again. And I'm gonna, well, first of all, I think I'm gonna put that in there real quick, and is that right? It's hard to tell because it's not that loud. I'm just gonna look at the piano roll because my ears having trouble deciphering. I don't want to play with the controls if I don't know exactly where it's going. So I'm gonna, oh, that's not gonna open the piano roll here. Yeah, so that's right. I was right. I wasn't sure if it started that or maybe that, but it was here. Alright. think that'll work. I just want to give the hint of that tone in there before I bring it into the next part of the song. Because that's groove 1 part 2. Now we're moving on to groove 1 part 3. So I'm going to take that same track here, open that one up, and that's going to be maybe too loud, so we might have to duplicate and try it again, or try it on the other channel even. Yeah, that's probably what we'll do here. That's what we need. Sorry if you can hear me hitting the buttons on my launchpad here. Obviously that's not going to be in the recording. So where is that at? Which one was that? This one? Oh. Which one? I didn't know I was recording. So that sounds cool, but it's a little loud, so I'm going to do the same thing as I've been doing. I'm just going to clone the track, delete this one because we no longer need it, and then I'm just going to take down the volume a little bit more, and let's play that again. I like it. I like it. What's next? Which one was that? The top or the bottom? About this one. Honestly, I think I need a completely new one. What's this on 2? I'll just take this one. And delete that. Take that off. Oh, it's already on. Sweet. Alright, so to prevent it from recording, make sure I hit stop there. I think more than one instrument was armed, so I'm gonna hit stop here. Yeah, this one's armed, so I'm gonna disarm it. Unarm it. I'm unarmed. And that's okay that it's quiet. I screwed that up. Save. Reload. Now I have my windows back. Alright. What happened there? Huh. Oh, I know what happened. Because I had to hit it like a note late, otherwise it wasn't going to start at the same time. Okay, that works perfectly. What's going on here? So let's hear the transition. I realized that right-clicking sends it down and left-clicking sends it up. So I'm going to start here. And then transition. Alright, so we're getting places. Let's hear it in the song window here. And we need this. Might as well make it 4. This is 4 so far. Mute the mic real quick. Alright. I think I had these tracks confused here. I had at least. So I'm gonna hear what this sounds like because I think this is what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. Alright, so I'm gonna stop it. So that is the one that's like completely different song there. Right? Yeah, wait, what did I just do? I'm gonna listen to it one more time here. I'm a little confused. it's still really jumpy, but I'm starting to hear songs in between the transitions, and that's kind of what you have to do when you're a producer. If you're producing any audio, you're gonna have to listen to it over and over again, and that's why if you're in the industry and you're actually making money, you're making the big bucks, because it's expensive. It's time consuming. If I was gonna pay a musician to make the songs for my game, it would be, well, so since there's no budget right now, it would be like, you know, infinitely much more. But what we're talking about is thousands of dollars, really. We're talking about at least like $3 grand to make a decent soundtrack. And that's something that you're kind of hoping that it's decent, because if you don't know the guy, or if you don't know what you're getting, I mean, that you could be paying for something that you don't use, and in the end, and you might not pay full price for it, and you might end up, you know, losing a business partner, or you know, you might lose money, or it's just it's a big pain in the neck. If you know how to do it yourself, then do it yourself. If you don't know how to do it yourself, there's people out there, but you know, if they don't have a portfolio, it's hard to see what they're capable of and what they're going to do. So use their portfolio, and if they don't have one, ask them to make one, because they should have something saved. Just taking a sip of water. But it's a very time-consuming process, so that's what's happening here. I'm going to listen to it again, because that's what it takes. So there's that massive jump there. This is like a completely different level almost. So maybe I had it right before. Yeah, let's try it the other way again. Sometimes it's important to experiment like that. Other times it's like, that actually sounded really cool. Wait, can you cut these? Like, split it? Oh. Oh, I'm in the wrong mode. What did I just... Oh, that guy. This is... You can't change the start point, but you can change the end point. What is... Play. Like, why did they have to switch it up? Okay. I get it though, because now you can right click without deleting. Sorry. So I'm gonna play the from here, so there's gonna be some of this measure playing, so that way it doesn't sound bad once it gets to the point that I want to listen to. Nah, that's not what I wanted. But it did sound good when they were playing together. Like that. but not that. What did I want? I want the end of it to play over the end of that, but not the beginning. I don't think I can do that. Alright, so never mind. I'm gonna get that all the way down here now and try this, because I'm starting to think that maybe this goes better with that, and maybe that could lead to this. It's kind of pushed its way out of the song there. So I'm wondering what I should do with it. If I should manipulate it or keep it for later. Let's see, which bass line is that? It sounds good by itself. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it for later. And I think I already have a recording of it. Stupid software. Choose the default. Yeah, there we go. This was the early version. Okay, yeah, I've got it. I don't have to worry about losing it. So I'm gonna just completely destroy it here, I think. Maybe that's not a good idea, because then I could take it apart later. Maybe it'll come into play later, so I'll just scoot it down the road and just not deal with it for now. I think that's the best thing to do. Alright, so we're gonna make... Where do we want to work? I'm gonna listen to this one more time because listening to that was different, so... Yep. Alright. So this is towards the end of the song, I'm thinking. Unless maybe if it's, well, I tend to take the end of the song and make it next to the beginning of the song in the intro. And since we haven't even got to the intro yet, we've made the Groove 1 intro, but that's still part of Groove 1. Intro is going to have its own parts to it, and same with outro. So we might be working on that at the same time here, and then this actually might end up back behind this thing if it does. But for now, we're just gonna scoot it even more because I just don't want to listen to it because it keeps ruining my train of thought with the other song. This button to move up. And it's so different than all of the other GUIs as far as the pencil makes a finger, the box makes a finger too. Everything's like I don't know. It's just a little weird. But it just, you know, like anything else, it just takes some getting used to. It's free. I like that robotic feel that it's capturing there, and it's a sci-fi game, so I think it's important that I continue on with that type of tone here. So I'm gonna try to do that with something a little less video game sounding. I'm gonna try to make something that doesn't sound so emulated here. Now, I haven't experimented with all of these yet, so I have no idea. SFXR. That's probably like Bfxr. I don't know what GUS is. I have played with these three, and I played a little bit with this one, and I played with this one. I played with that. And I couldn't figure out that, or maybe I didn't play with it, I don't know. I'm gonna start here, just so I can remember that I started at the bottom. I'll work my way up, maybe. Just throw this guy in there. This was with the... like it's already armed, so that's cool. Oh, did I drop it on top of something else? I did, didn't I? It was this though. Man, that's annoying. Well, we get to hear what it sounds like this way. Not really. Alright, so just gonna... Man, I can't remember what it was either. So how do you add these without... Because it's like, hey, drag and drop it, but there's like, oh, you have to make space for it. That's just a little bit annoying. Alright, so I'm just gonna drag one of these on there. It's gonna sound like crap though. Right? Oh, it knows to be effects too. Maybe it'll know what it sounds like. No. That's not what I want. I don't want to clone the track, I want to clone this. So, I'm going to clone the track, and then I'm going to take this, clear that, and then copy, paste, and then clear that, turn this into that, make sure I'm not using it somewhere else. There it is. This one looks okay actually, I just need that. This one as well, I think. Oh, I cloned that. No, that's, yeah, that's, I think that, I have no idea, to be honest. I think I might have screwed everything up. I don't know, let's listen to it and find out. What is this mode? Sorry, I had the mic muted. So it's a little quiet, but it's probably loud enough. Cause that's loud enough. Anyways, if it comes down to it, we'll just use that. We'll stick in between that somewhere, and if we need to, we can adjust it. Alright, close that. Make a jam. Where are we at here? That's not what we want. We want a new one. So we're gonna take the old one. What's it? Probably gonna have this memorized by the end. It's like this. Alright, got that figured out. What else do we want? We were working with, so let me move it to the right spot here so it isn't confusing. We'll just right there. Gonna go down one, and we can take. Well, I like this, so I don't know if I'm gonna use it, but I want it for the time being. We could maybe put it here and see what we can do with that. Maybe. Yeah, I think that was a good guess. It just kind of worked out. Let's see what it sounds like in the song window. Granted, it's not done, it's just the synth and the drum. It almost is enough by itself. Alright, but I want to do a couple more things to it now that I've listened to it like that. I think I know what I want to do. Stop that and just throw it down here for a second. Where are we at? And we want this again. I'm gonna copy it and we're gonna throw it. Maybe. Well, I want to make something new. Let's see here. Let's see that maybe. And then we gotta put it in a new spot, not a used spot. Okay. Let's see what that's all about. Controller here. Still armed. So it sounds similar right off the bat. Let's see what we can do to it though. Trying to sound funny there. Alright, enough of that. Let's make real music here. I like that. That's what we're doing here. Alright. I'm gonna try to remember that melody. Should always just have the piano roll open when I'm playing with it. That's probably a good idea. I just have one button that I need to hit. Of course, I don't know what it's going to sound like because I haven't been playing it to the tempo, so I gotta jam it some more. Oh, I need to jam it this way. Alright. I need to hit record. It's gonna be like... What happened there? Oh no. That was so bad. Oh man. Who knew that was gonna happen though, right? What? Alright, so just a quick little gonna put some tutorial in here. We got these spaces here are 3 squares, these spaces here are 3 squares, we've got these spaces here are 3 squares. This is where the new measure is, like right between those squares, and then we've got 2 squares here, 2 squares here. So I'm showing you the patterns that I've created in this and why this composition works here. So then we've got 4 here, and we've got 4 here, and we've also got 4 here. Right? So if you divide this one into 4s, it evenly divides into 2s, and then you've got some space here that has compositional difference. You've got a 4 on here and a 2 on here. So what that is counterpoint, essentially, because you can cut this in half and it weighs differently. Essentially, I've done that twice here because you cut this in half and it weighs differently. And then also here, if you cut this in half, it weighs differently as well. So it's important to use counterpoint and to think about counterpoint when you're building stuff. And I know it doesn't look like I'm using counterpoint. It looks like I'm just having these happy accidents and oh, hey, that sounds good, that sounds good too. No, but it's all actually me shooting for counterpoint and deciding my judgments based on counterpoint. And I pretty much use counterpoint as my sole judgment guide of what I'm working with, essentially. Because everything is composition to me. It's not just a visual terminology as an artist. It's audio terminology. It's energy. It's everything. Composition is what we're created of. So the universe is a composition. Mankind is a composition. I mean, everything is a composition. It's like a game object. Everything's a game object. Everything's a composition. Everything's a work of art. Alright, so this is what we're doing here. Alright, and so I haven't mentioned that there's a whole nother layer of counterpoint here, because this whole measure is complete silence. So that's the other part of counterpoint that you might have noticed, that I've been putting a lot of silence in the tracks that I made, because not only am I leaving room for other tracks, other parts of the song, but I'm leaving space in the composition as a whole, so that way when you're listening to it, you can actually hear some of the silence and pull it out and listen to it, because silence is part of the music. All right, so I'm going to bring out my song doodle guy here, and we're going to, what are we going to do? Oh, it's already here, isn't it? It's not. There we go. Yeah, so we're just going to listen to the whole thing. Is that the whole thing? That's the whole thing. So I've decided that that's this part here with the tinkly beat, or the tinkly melody there, the robotic thing going on. That's too quiet. So I'm going to find that, and I believe that one is here. Oh, it puts it twice in there, doesn't it? No, it didn't put it twice. Okay, that's alright. This is what we want, I believe. Yeah, okay, so this one is too quiet. Because now it's got to blend with the Zin add sub effects. Try that again. I like that better. This part is grooving. hear that it's like artifacting in there, but I'm not sure if I like it or if I don't like it. So we'll hear what it sounds like when we render it, and if I don't like it, then what I can do is I can just take it out, you know, and render it again, or just chop it out and see what that sounds like with that silence, or you know, we can remix this. It doesn't have to end like this. And that's the important part of it to keep in mind in music, is that when you're making stuff with today, you have all of this technology available. You can literally tear it apart and use it again and do something else with it if you don't like it. That sounds so right there. And that just sounds so wrong. Oh. Wow, that sounded horrible. Sorry about that. So I'm going to just have to remember to hit the stop button instead of trying to drag that thing, because that's not a good idea. This actually scrubs it when you're playing, right? In some of the other videos, when I'm narrating and stuff, I'll have audio in the background. Like when I'm doing Unity and stuff, like there's not that much going on besides me talking, so I'll just have audio in the background, and I'll use this group that I'm in, so it's royalty free. And I'm gonna drink some water here so my voice doesn't crack. And so yeah, so I put on this audio and some of the recordings and stuff, and I used to actually use that scrubbing technique in a DJ group, you know, with a piece of software similar to this, and I had a beat. It didn't have the melody, and it worked to a degree, but it gave it this, you know, random feel to and stuff. So it was what I was experimenting with at the time, and we recorded it. It wasn't something that we produced or you know, made something amazing out of or anything like that. It was just funny. Anecdote over. Alright, I think that'll work without listening, probably. Let's see. We're at about 2 hours and 30 minutes in the stream. No communication from anyone really so far. I mean, I did get a direct message from someone. I don't know if they knew that I was streaming, but that's alright. Let's see here. Am I good with that? Do I want it to just be that? I don't know. I'll leave it like that for now, because if I don't like it, I could probably add to it in the second measure. That's probably what I'll end up doing, because you can layer these. And then, let's take a look here. If we got this, that's a chunk. this. So really, I should be trying to expand here and make this chunk bigger, or maybe that way. I'm not sure. Let me listen to it. Okay, so the natural thing to do is to want to incorporate more of those tones into what's going on here. It'll make the song more coherent. Hopefully, it doesn't make it sound too repetitive. So that's one thing you're constantly battling when you're making video game music is, and not just any video game music. It's any electronic music. If you have a guitar or something, that's not something so much you have to worry about. But when you're making electronic music, it very easily can sound repetitive to someone who's looking for something to say sounds repetitive. In reality, nothing ever sounds the same because your ears don't ever hear it the same. Every time you hear it, it sounds different. Might be a nuanced level that you don't hear, but it's different. Okay, so I'm gonna do. Sorry, make space for this. Okay. So now I can move it. Oh, that's not what I want. That's what I want. Right? Not even. That's what I want. So this one. You know, I'm gonna put them together again. Should have listened to them together before I left. Alright, I think I know what I need to do here. No. That's gonna be different. Alright. So it's that organ that I need to get rid of. I believe it's... I don't know what it is. I missed it. It's those. and those. Needs more silence. Alright, so the obvious smart thing to do here would be to just leave this as it is, and move on, right? I don't know, it's so difficult to do because you want to hear the drum, to build your song around the drum, but you don't want to have to make the drum every time, right? Because there's a good chance I'm going to change it. I'm just going to keep doing it the same way I'm doing it. I feel like it would have been wiser to have made this as one groove and then keep using it in the song mode, but like I said, then I wouldn't be able to hear the songs and build them around it, so I guess it doesn't really matter in the long run. I did it pretty quick. Alright, it is getting annoying though. Okay, here we go. Alright, so I just copied that. So now it sounds just like that. Right? What's going on? Oh, I grabbed the wrong track. Alright, sorry about that. Alright. try that. Oh, I skipped it. One more time. See, now this blue one is lacking now, so I'm gonna see what we can do to that. But when I made it, I didn't have nearly as many tracks lined up here, so let's go find this one. What is that? So let's see what we can do here. Have this one or this one, right? So I think this one's still hard. Start with that one. Lost my. So that's a bass one, so I don't want to use that. I want something a little bit higher, because it's already got bass. So that sounds good, but I don't know if it's gonna let me do that because I think it's longer than the track. So if we do that, we might have to expand everything. But let's try it. I'll try to remember what it was. So we don't want it to play that quickly, so we're gonna expand it here. I think I need to hit the control button to be able to move it, and after you hit control to move it, and then you release it to lock it, so you don't get a weird non-beat. So that's 7. Can we get 8? Alright. It's crazy, but okay. Is there a way to zoom in? Here we go. Where's the... Okay. Sorry, just moving my screen. Probably sound like an earthquake. And then there was something else I wanted to do to the track here. That's not it. Did that even make a difference? Oh. Drop my headphones. Okay. What am I gonna do here? I don't like it, honestly. This doesn't sound right. I think maybe it's just this synth. So I'm gonna make another, and I'm gonna delete this and that other. Mess with this. And then we're going to instrument this guy. So I need to unarm this guy. Disarm. This guy. And we're gonna try to make something more exciting than that, because that's not really that exciting. It works for its retro purposes, but I'm gonna move my screen again, don't freak out. Alright, and I touched the microphone. Okay. Let's see here. We want something trebly or mid. is that from? That's from a game. Something like that. Anyways, I don't want it to sound like someone else's game, so. But I do like that melody. So I might steal the melody and change the... See what I can do with the sound here. This doesn't seem to be getting me anywhere. Oh. Yeah, I really don't know what I'm doing with this window. Or this window. What did I just do there? Can't really tell if it's affecting it or not. I think it is. There's a way to change the waveform. I don't like this instrument. I'm gonna try a different one. Let's see, strings. I can make some pretty cool strings in Ableton. Sounds like a hip-hop song. Of course. There we go. Well, that sounds cool. Not the right piano roll. That sometimes. Alright, what was it? Messed that up. Whoa. Oh yeah, that's right. You can only stretch things, you can't cut things forward. That's not what I want. This is what I want. Too many ints. What is going on here? Yeah, I don't need that. So it did copy, I just copied it way over there. Cool. the heck is going on here? I don't understand how that works, but I know it needs to be longer. Okay, so I must have put that there. That there, that there, that there. There. That there. And what now? Right on. I don't know what the heck is going on, but okay, I get it. Is that right? Got 1, 2, 3, 4. Try not to screw it up this time. Sorry. I'm gonna leave this little bar here so I don't drag it up underneath. Okay. that's where we were. Okay. So I already went into that one, and I need to just go in down the line and duplicate these, I think. Alright. There's a way to copy and paste. If I like this thing. Huh. Doing a very good job of recreating it. Okay. This one. Let's go there. There. It's there. There. Alright. And the reason why it sounds funny is because there's two here. Whoa. It's not what I want. Whoa. It was a bunch of them stacked is what it was. Okay, so that should take care of that. Alright, so I'm glad I listened to it because that would have been like really bothering me if I thought it was somewhere else. Which one was that? This one's Opulence, and then this one. Simple enough. This one. Simple. This one. And this one. Simple. Are you? I like it, but the volumes are off because I haven't adjusted them yet. So I'm going to do that because they're just duplicates here. I feel like there needs to be something higher on this one now. Gotta remember not to do that. Just experimenting here. Okay, so that sounds pretty good. I'm gonna save it. Take a look at the song. See what we've done here. Then for now we'll just copy these. Oh, I'm not in draw mode. What did we do there? It sounds bad. I screwed something up. Let's go see what I screwed up. I'm not gonna try to blame you. Oh no. It was these. They got duped. It's okay, we can just remove it. When did I change that? I don't remember doing that. Weird. Well, I must have been messing with it and not realized it. Guess we're gonna have to try to fix it. Yeah, I just don't like anything that I've done with that. Is it this? I was playing with this. Maybe. Maybe it was. It sounds too... E. I feel like none of this is changing it. here we go. That should change the waveform. Didn't. Maybe it did. I don't know. It sounds funky. Funky. Oh, that's the LFO. Anyways, it's already screwed, so I'm just gonna put in a default. See how that sounds. That was definitely closer to what I wanted. Alright, so kind of sounds like the fairy pond. That actually sounds pretty cool like that. I did. No, it's stuck. I got it. Alright. Let's go back. See how that sounds. So I feel like that could be expanded upon. Right here, this could be duplicated. What is it? Oh, it's different. It's like they had different people designing different portions of the software. Or maybe it just wouldn't work another way. I don't know. So, I'm gonna copy it and maybe do that. Is there a way to paste it? I'm dreaming here. Oh, that's what's up. Okay, alright, I see what's going on here. I need to zoom in. Select. This is as big as it gets, but this should be that big, so these. That should be that. That should be that. Actually, that sounded fine the way that was. And then I can do this. Can drag all of them. There's still one missing. Alright, let's hear what this sounds like. It's probably not, you know, what I want, but I just want to hear it. I like that, but this part needs more, so it can come down from the last part, and then this next part will be fine. I think. I'm gonna have to listen to the transition here. That works better than the other way, for sure. Okay, yeah, so this part is still feeling like a completely different song. So, just going to leave that at the end for a bit, and maybe that'll be the next level. Obviously these aren't, I'm not making the first level, and the second level, and then the third level. I'm not doing it like that. Just making something that sounds like something that I can reproduce the feel of, something that I can reproduce the style of, something that I can make, well, at least 20 tracks, so what, 4 minutes each, so 4 times 2, that's like 80 minutes, so 80 minutes of music. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it takes a long time to make 80 minutes of music. And not to mention the sound effects is a whole nother deal. So, and then putting it all into the game is a whole nother deal too. That's, you know, takes scripting and coding and knowing the software and all that. But I am going to take a break tonight. I don't know if I'm going to stream any more this evening. But I gotta get some food in me. I've been streaming for a while now, and running low on energy. So it's important to stay energized and keep eating and exercise too. I was standing a bit and I was stretching. So it's important to do all that shit while you're sitting in front of the computer for 4 hours at a time like this. So I want everyone to have a good night and take care. Peace.